Okay, so hey guys, and welcome back to another predictions video, and in today's video I'm be predicting the Stevenson versus Yoshino fight. If you are new around here though and you haven't subscribed, please do so. Like the video if you do need like video, and let's get straight into it. So, going into this fight, Stevenson is 19-0 with 9 KOs, and Yoshino is 16-0 with 12 KOs. This fight is a 12-round fight in the lightweight division. Stevenson's last fight was a win via unanimous decision versus Konsei Sao, and Yoshino's last fight was a win via KO in round 6 versus Nakatani. Stevenson is moving up in weight for this fight from super featherweight, and he's aiming to become a freeweight world champion, I believe, with this. 2 freeweight world champion, and it's good and necessary that he has moved up, because he did, of course, struggle very badly making weight in that last fight, and I don't think it was a bad of not making weight. I think he physically couldn't make the weight, but yeah, it's glad to see him coming up, and he's coming up into a great division as well. Very, very stacked division at the moment. So Yoshino is 31 and Stevenson is 25, so there's that age gap already there in Stevenson's favour, arguably. Also on this card though is Anderson versus Arias, in which I think Anderson will win via TKO in round 8. It's a good stacked top ranked card. They've put some of their best fighters on there, Keyshawn Davis as well, and Bruce Carrington also on there. But I wanted to speak about this Anderson fight because I'm loving what Anderson's doing at the moment. He's coming off that big win versus Jerry Forrest, and I think that kind of, I suppose, hype train he's got around him will keep going, and that 100% KO ratio, I think he'll keep it going. Obviously, Arias is a good undefeated heavyweight test as well, but I think Anderson, the way that things are going at the moment, I think he'll probably end up winning this fight, and like I said, TKO in round 8. I think it'll be a tough test though, but yeah, I still think it'll pass with flying colours, and then possibly, I mean, I don't hate the idea of an Afeya Jagba fight. I mean, he's on top rank. I don't know how much he'd want to take the fight, because there's not really too much reward for him taking that fight, but I don't hate that fight. For Anderson, of course, there's other very good options out there, but yeah, like I said, I just thought I'd mention that. Going back to the Stevenson versus Yoshino fight though, this is in Stevenson's home country of America, and this is Yoshino's first time in fighting outside of Japan, and so that's going to be the first time, of course, in fighting the away fighter. I suppose to an extent actually, because he's been away fighters in the past with just having Japanese opponents. I don't know how much of a home fighter he was for the Nakatani fight, but either way, it's first time out of Japan for him. Stevenson, as a fighter though, he's an in and out fighter. He rarely gets hit. He's on a kind of momentum train at the moment. He's got great footwork. He pushes the pace. He's consistent. He has a high IQ. He's very hard to predict / counter. He's defensively responsible. He can fight at all ranges. He is a high volume and can change up midway through fights. Basically, an amazingly good fighter. Arguably one of the best fighters at the moment, pound for pound. He's got great potential. I think, like I said, if he wins a few more, then he probably will be up there with the pound for pound best at the moment. And I mean, people are putting him in the top 10 already, and that's kind of respect to him. And the way he fights is just so immense and so entertaining, I suppose. The way that he can get hit, throw punches and not get hit by punches is just crazy. And his boxing IQ is just so up there and so intelligent, and the way he pivots around the ring is just crazy. And even the way that he is, like I said, defensively responsible. He doesn't just either headhunt or just kind of overcommit at any times. He is just so defensively good, and of course, like I said, he can fight at all ranges. He's a high volume fighter, so that's arguably how he gets a lot of his knockouts. People say that he's not overly powerful, but I mean, I wouldn't say he's not powerful. He's definitely got power in his punches. I don't think he has that one punch KO power, but I think he is just a very sound, good, smart fighter, and that technical ability, you don't really need power to match it. And of course, he is growing constantly, and I mean, that's shown from the fact he's already been in 3 weight divisions, 2 weight divisions now already, and so that's at a young age as well. It's kind of showing that he is constantly growing, and I'm sure that kind of, I suppose, manpower in a way will come through at some point, and that will even make him even more lethal as a fighter. He's, yeah, like I said, he's not crazy powerful. He can play it safe at times. That's kind of one of the only main negatives. He can play it safe at times. Other than that, like he's just an amazing fighter. You can't really say too much negative about him. The fact he can play it safe means that he can coast through wins at times and not try and turn it up when he could possibly get opponents out of there. But like I said, if you don't need to, then you don't need to. And of course, he can't overlook Yoshino as a fighter, because Yoshino isn't like one of the big names in the lightweight division, but is a big name in Japan boxing, and is going to be coming in there to wanting to get an upset. And so yeah, let's talk about Yoshino. So he hasn't ducked the fight. A lot of fighters have been ducking the fight for Stevenson, especially for his first fight, because they've just seen him, they've just wanted to go for other options. He is a powerful fighter. He moves well. He's calculated. He's accurate. He targets the body well. He likes being in the centre. He has a good chin. He's coming off a great year as well for him, an amazing year, and kind of arguably cemented himself as a good world level prospect in the lightweight division. Of course, like I said, he's got that power, which is something which can be the only possible thing that might be able to stump Stevenson. But I think the way that Stevenson fights, it's going to be hard to even get hit, for him to even get hit by any of them punches. And so, I mean, he's going to have to be really smart to be able to really connect with anything. But yeah, of course, he is accurate, he's calculated, so he does have that ability in him, I think. But I don't know if he can do it, though. He likes being in the centre, and I think even if he is in the centre versus Stevenson, that's not really going to play much of a factor in it. He's got a good chin, so I don't see it possibly going for a stoppage, unless Yoshino gets retired by the corner just from Stevenson outworking, which could happen. Yoshino, though, kind of the negatives I suppose about him, he doesn't evade punches greatly. He's not got the greatest of evacuations, I suppose, if that's the right word, from punches. He's got good movement, but it's not amazing. He needs to utilise his jab. Sometimes he goes off his jab and doesn't work it as much as he probably should. He can be pushed back. I'm sure that's what Stevenson's going to try to do, and it means that it's going to probably frustrate Yoshino, because he's going to want to be in the centre. He has been outboxed in the past against Nakatani. I'd arguably say he was getting outboxed at points, and of course, like I said, he can get outboxed at times, but he's always been able to get through that with using his power. But I don't think versus Stevenson that's going to play much of a factor, because like I said, he's just so hard to hit. Of course, Stevenson is the favourite for this fight, and I think that Stevenson will win via stoppage in round 11. I think it'll be a stoppage win. Yeah, I think the corner will probably end up retiring him because of just a constant onslaught of Stevenson and a domination I think he's going to have in this fight. Of course, like I said, he can't overlook him. Looking on to the bigger and better things possibly in the lightweight division. But yeah, like I said, I think he is going to be really dominant in this fight. And then, I mean, there's loads of other good options. Like I said, this weight division is absolutely stacked at the moment, and so just to name a few options here: the winner of Haney versus Loma, the winner of Davis versus Garcia, or Teofimo Lopez. Any of them options, plus many more other options, all could be good fights for Stevenson. Of course, he is probably going to get a world title shot if he wins this one, especially if he wins it convincingly. If not, then he'll get like an interim or an eliminator for the world title with this. But I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if he goes straight in for a world title after this. I mean, there was discussions about him going straight into a world title as soon as he moved up anyway, and so it probably will end up happening. But yeah, I mean, I don't hate any fight with Stevenson, a high level fighter. Like I said, I've just mentioned some names. I don't hate any of them fights. I think it'd be a tough opponent for anybody, and it'll be interesting to see how his career goes, because he's got so much potential. It's crazy how much potential he's got, and I'll be following his career very closely. But yeah, that is it for today's video. Hope you did enjoy. Like if you did like the video, subscribe if you're new, and thanks for watching.